Hello fellow modelers, Bruce here again. I'm still working on the scene for Bangor Slate on my Jersey Highlands Railroad, and I want to build a couple of small slate cutters sheds that were so prolific around the slate pits. I'll show you a prototype picture of what I'm talking about in the video. But anyway, I wanted to build a few. I wanted to make sure I had room for them, so I'm doing a cardboard or cardstock mock-up. And I do this very frequently before I invest my time in materials and building the final one out of wood, just to see how they fit, how many I can get, and so forth. Now these are very small. They're about 10 feet by 12 feet, 12 feet wide, 10 feet deep. The peak of the roof is about 8 feet. So what I've done is I've taken some scrap cardboard. This happens to be from a set of curtains that my dear wife just purchased. Nice thin, but it's corrugated. And I've laid out the two side walls. I think you can see that fairly good there. So those are 10 feet wide, 8 feet tall down here where the roof meets the side walls, and 12 feet tall at the peak. So there's two of those. I've laid out the front of the shed with the door. First I was going to use a 30-inch door, and I decided to make it 36. That's why the door opening looks a little messy. But again, 12 feet wide now for the width of the shed, 8 feet high, and this is the back wall up here. So I'll cut both of those out. And then the roof panels I've made ready to cut out too. I've let them overlap about a scale 6 inches all the way around. So next I'm going to take my trusty number 11 knife and cut those out. Now to draw these, of course, first I had to decide on the dimensions, and basically friend Dave took a look at the pictures and said, let's go by the door, and assuming how wide the door is, figured out the other dimensions. But it'll be close enough for this scene at least. Okay, about 10 minutes later, the 6 panels that I need for the mock-up are cut out. This will be the front wall with the door, and I've made it so that I can, when I mock it up and put it in place, have the door open like that. Back door is blank, 2 roof panels, the left side and the right side, and I've penciled in where I would put one window in the final model, just on that one side, since really that's the side that will be viewed most often. So next step is I want to glue these together quickly, and I find the best way to do it is just take some scrap wood. Now this is wood that my dad gave me, probably about 15 years ago. He was cutting something on his table saw and had a bunch of these thin strips left over of probably pine, and they're not to scale, they're not exactly true, because they were just being ripped off a larger board. And I use them for this purpose, which is to, take like the rear wall and just glue a small strip of wood in each side here to help with the gluing of the side walls. So I'll do 4 of those. I'll put a couple at the top of the roof along the slant of the roof there, and help me glue the roof on. So I'll glue these in place and start the gluing process, then I'll be back and show you how quick these mock-ups really go together. Talk to you soon. Okay, the 4 walls are glued together on the mock-up. Front wall with the door, and the left side with the window, and those are where I just put those wooden braces inside to give me some gluing surface. And now I'm just going to glue the roof panels on and let that dry, and then we'll try it in place. So let's just, I figured there was enough gluing surface because this is a little bit thicker cardboard. I usually use cereal box cardboard for the mock-ups, which is thinner than this. And I would have glued some wood along the edge of the roof line as well. But I think for this should be fine. Come along this side. And this is just to give me a quick down and dirty approximation of what these would look like when I make them out of wood. Okay, I'm going to hold this in place for a minute, let that glue settle, then we'll go try it out on the layout. Talk to you soon. Okay, now we're over at the layout where the Bangor Slate Scene is going to be. Just out of the scene a little bit over in this direction is stuff that I am currently working on. So you see a bunch of glue and paints and all that kind of stuff. But over here is going to be the freight house, the store, the office, and then down at the end is the slate pit itself. So what I was thinking of doing with these little slate cutter sheds is to put them down near the slate pit, somewhat adjacent to the derrick. And it looks to me now that as I look at this little mock-up, that I could fit probably 2 of them in there and still leave some room for some stacks of slate and so forth. So, of course, I can still move the office around a little bit and decide where to put it, making a little bit more room, but I don't have a lot of room to play with here. So probably 2 of those little sheds and a couple stacks of slate, and that'll help complete that scene over there. So, yeah, cardboard mock-ups. I've used them quite a bit in my modeling before building an actual structure. And at the end of this short video, I'll post some pictures of other cardboard mock-ups and show the end result on that. As a matter of fact, and I don't know if I have pictures of the mock-up or not, but I'll look and see. One of the structures that I mocked up in cardboard was this freight house, which came from a kit, and I did the mock-up the size that the kit was and decided that it was too large for the area where I was going to put it, and so I shortened it and changed it around a bit. So I'll see if I can find pictures of that, but I know I have pictures of several others, so they'll be at the end of this video. Talk to you soon. I am continuing to make progress on the stream scene. Got some more scenery work to do around that before I can install the bridge, and we'll do another update on that to complete the 2-part series on creating a stream. So see you soon with that video. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this short video, give it a like, please, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe. Okay, we'll be talking to you soon. If you're interested in the whole topic of creating mock-ups of structures before you build them, and some of the reasons you might want to do that, I once wrote an article for the Whistle Post magazine, which is a publication of the Garden State Division NMRA, and the title of that was okay, mock it up. And I'll put a link in the description of this video of how you could find that article if you want to see more examples of mock-ups and why they're useful. Okay, talk to you.